The first song is called. The first song goes by the name of those people wouldn't if they probably were educated. One day, I was in a school. Dun, dun, dun. I was there. Dun, 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 until I saw Samuel James. He had his fist. He stole the school officer's gun. There was a lot of stuff that happened that day, but what if you pictured? What could you picture what they would be if only they had dun, 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 dun. If only they were educated, dun, 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 educated. If only they had some sort of education, education. If only they had education, you see, they could be just like me and you. If they were like me and you, they could be living a normal life. If they had education, they probably wouldn't done all this. I know that guy did that. What about the guy on the news you saw who killed several police officers and some innocents, and then at the end he committed suicide? So what if your world was more peaceful? And what if no one actually really had to worry about education? Well, you probably see those people, if they were educated like me and you, they would probably have not gotten into that sort of situation. I'm not saying education always helps, it just makes you know more things, and it can prevent you from getting in a situation of an horrible educated life. If you were educated, you could have been not that guy who took the gun from the officer at the school. You could have not been the guy on the news who took the gun that he had and killed several people, and including officers and the innocents, and then commit suicide with the gun. What if life was just a life filled with lots of education? What if life was educated? Dun, 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 dun. I don't know if it needed that ending, but anyways, I give it that ending. So now ready for another song? Yo, I got this perfect idea for a song. It's gonna be called Range Rover on. It's called It's gonna be called this driving. It's gonna be called that ride was like riding in a that it's gonna be called that ride was like driving in a Range Rover on Mars, and I'm gonna sing it right now. Hey, oh young fella. Hey, had you ever wondered? Hey, oh, I know someone who was a dear good friend of mine. He has a car, but here's the thing. You might have not liked that car, but I finally got riding it, and riding it was like driving a Range Rover on Mars. It was like driving the Range Rover on Mars. Oh yeah, you might be like, hey, this is crazy, but you just look at that. It's like driving a Range Rover on Mars. So you say I'm crazy, and I told you. Why can't you just look at it like it's like driving a Range Rover on Mars? Well then, I got your eye. When you realized that, hey, wait, maybe I was right, maybe I was right, maybe I was right. It's like driving a Range Rover on Mars. So I'm gonna get my friend, my dear good friend, to give us the car for him to drive and have you sit on it. It's gonna feel so comfortable, and it's gonna be the smoothest ride. All because the car is like the smoothest car for the cheapest price. You might be like, that's crazy, but you were already like that, and now here you are. And now you think driving that car is like driving a Range Rover on Mars. What do you mean you sing no lies, goof? Oh, me sing no lies? I don't know what you're saying. Okay, this song's gonna be called I Took the F-150, but I Got a Problem. This song's gonna be called I Took the F-150, but I Got a Problem. Okay, you ready to hear it? One day I felt like I needed a test drive for the F-150. at my Ford dealership. So I accidentally didn't realize that when I was driving it, someone was taping a firework to my F-150. But then he lives while I was moving the car, obeying gold laws. So one day, that exact same day, I was driving, but then it exploded. I kind of survived in the truck. There was fire. I quickly got out and ran. I ran really fast. Ran really fast. Gotta get out of there to get to the safest place. So I was running. I ran over to Anne. This song's gonna be called the Dog Fighter. Dog Fighter. The song's called Dog Fighter. Like the planes. The war planes. Dog Fighter. No, it's called Dog Fighters. Okay. Ready? Let's sing it. 3, 2, 1, go. Dun 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 one time I was in the military, I was in a dog fighter plane, I was gonna go through that war, I was the only person they forgot to train, so I had no idea how to fly it. I only know how to go up and take off, but I didn't know how to steer until I figured it out on my own. A few seconds before crashing, and I steered the plane in the correct path. I prevented a crash without training. Dun 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 dun. So I saw a plane in my sight. Dun 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 dun. I steered the plane. I went upside down. I had no mask on, and I started to shoot upside down. I was shooting upside down without any training. Dun 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 dun. I'm did all this stuff without training. Dun, dun, dun. What else could I do? What else could I do without training? Dun, dun, dun. So I started playing up, started to stall, and then I was falling out fast, curving, barely crashing to the ocean. Why do I never hit? Am I dumb or am I smart? Well, the one thing is, I'm really lucky. So one time my plane was smoking from other aircraft behind me. So since it was smoking, you know what I did? Dun, dun, dun. I got up out of my plane. Dun, I had my gun, and I'll start the heck out of this plane. Dun, 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. So I already had a parachute on that was not deployed. And since I shot the plane down and my plane was crashing and there's an island right by me. Dun, 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 dun. So I jumped off the plane with my parachute and I landed in the island. I didn't know what the heck the name was. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. So what do you think that I would do? Dun 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 dun. So I crash landed on the island. Dun dun dun. I really didn't crash on it, but I just jumped off a plane that was crashing in the ocean. Dun. Dun 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 dun. So dun dun dun. I searched for some rocks on the island to make a SOS signal. Dun, dun, dun. Well, wait, I forgot. I don't need rocks if I have my walkie-talkie. Dun, 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 dun. It's still a part of my plane, and it still works. And it crashed on the island. You know, some of it was in the ocean. Dun, 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 dun. So I got the walkie-talkie, and I talked and got some help. Dun, 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 dun. So I dun, 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 dun. I got the walkie-talkie and I was talking on the walkie-talkie. And as I said, I got some help. I got some help. Dun, 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 dun. But then some Indians came out with bows and arrows. Dun, 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 dun. And they were not looking like they were friendly, because actually I saw one fired and missed. Dun, 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 dun. So I didn't know what else to do. Dun, 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 dun. So I basically fired my gun, like I didn't know what else to do. I did what I felt was wrong, but was actually the only way I could think of to survive from them shooting bow and arrows at me. I wondered if I would have been able to talk if they wouldn't shot the arrows at me. Dun 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 dun. So I dun 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 dun. I dun 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 dun. After I shot them, I was low on ammo. Dun 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 dun. But later, since I was in the middle of the war, and hopefully it would be an enemy helicopter, dun 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 dun. And helicopter came down, and I got a symbol for my country's army, the USA. Then dun 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 dun. I realized they were with me, so I guess I got a lucky free ride. Dun 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 dun. So when I was able to, I quit the army. I never worked in the army again. Dun 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 dun. Because of that near dying moment. Dun 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 dun. And I guess it was not worth it if there's a possibility that they wouldn't train me. Dun dun dun. Because obviously I didn't know how to. Well, I got too close to dying, but I was really lucky, lucky. Oh yeah, lucky. I'm glad I was lucky instead of dead or dying. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. So now that I'm retired from the military, I decide to work for UPS. Dun 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 dun. Ever since then, like I said, was but I didn't said that after I would quit the military, I was went back to my family, and so on from there. I never flew a dogfighter plane again. Dun, no, dun, dun, dun. This song's called "The Crazy Taxi Driver." You know, Crazy Taxi, the game. Well, I'm not saying "The Crazy Taxi Driver" based off of the game, but a song. You know, like Sega, "The Crazy Taxi Driver." I'm saying the song. One day I wanted a ride, so I was so sick and tired of Uber. I decided to get a taxi driver. So when I got my taxi driver to come, he came about 3 minutes and 50 seconds. I estimated on my clock on my phone that he came at that time. But when I got in, he told me to shh. He told me to shush. He told me to shush. But what that meant, I had no idea. I told him what the heck is going on. Then I heard the car driving. It took off. And then there were sirens I heard behind. I was like, what the heck is going on? Do you have any idea that this is happening? And he said nothing. And I was like, do you know that these cops are following us? But you know what he said? He said, none of your business. I am in a situation of my own, sir. And when I escape these cops, I'm gonna take you to your designated area. He went off a ramp for a bridge and went on top of a boat, a cargo ship boat, a boat that carried cars for parking and took them to places. Ferry. Sorry. And when he got on the ferry, there were the police right on the bridge. Then a couple minutes later, there were helicopters. There were tons of helicopters from all over the sides. I saw FBI and military, and also the police. They were all over the sides. And also, I saw a sheriff helicopter. I'm like, what the heck is going on? What had he done? But then he decided he got out of the car, he started shooting down the helicopters. Dun 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 dun. He shot down the FBI helicopter. He shot down the military helicopter. He shot down the police helicopter. He shot down even the sheriff helicopter. He shot down all those helicopters. He didn't have a word to say to me until he said, I think we're gonna be late when I dropped you off. So he said that, and then I I told him, "You're crazy. I'm gonna give you a bad review on the taxi company." But then that's when I regretted my words. He got out his knife and he aimed his gun at me. He said, "Hey, sir, you better not say that again." Dun, 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 dun. He got his knife over my neck. Dun, 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 dun. So let's do this my way. Dun, 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 dun. I took his knife out and I threw it in the ocean. I'm like, "You want to kill me? You better not, because you're just only gonna get in even more trouble." Dun, 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 dun. So I made him really mad. He started getting his gun out, but then I ran on the boat. I managed to hide in someone's car. Later on, I realized I heard helicopters hovering over the boat, and then I came up to Shaq and I saw him in handcuffs, held down by police. What one heck of an event. So you know what, there's some people out there, but you know there's always another story to the story, like I once said. So you know there's always another story. These are the story to the story, like I said. So you know, like there's always another piece to the story. To the story, from the story to the story, like I said. So you know, there's always another piece of the story to the story, like I said. I think I gotta end the stream.